All right, guys. Well, we're going to get started. It's just after 10:30. Today, we're going to talk about don't just survive, but thrive in this market. And you guys will notice that I'm wearing a T-shirt today instead of my usual FRI shirt, which I have on underneath. But I'm wearing my T-shirt today, and you guys can't see it. Does anybody know what this is? Nobody knows what this is?
Something or other.
That's the Karate Kid, that new show.
Yes, that's well, it's not a new show, but some of you young folks might think it's a new show. So this is from the show Cobra Kai, which is, or if you saw Karate Kid back in 1984, it was the bad guys dojo thing there, Cobra Kai. But I'm not going to get into the whole story, but it did come back up because of the show that Jomar was just talking about. Which is on Netflix, and it's actually pretty cool if you're familiar with the movie and stuff. But Cobra Kai has a motto, and it is a terrible motto for. That's why they're the bad guys. It's a terrible motto for kids in high school who know karate to go around and beat people up. But it's a great motto for business right now, and their motto is this: strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Now you can leave out the no mercy part if you want, but the strike first and strike hard part is very important for sales in this environment. We have got to thrive, not just survive. And you can't be shy. You can't just be back in self-defense mode like the good guys in Karate Kid, right? You've got to be more aggressive in this thing. This is your life, guys. This is how you make a living, and you've got to be aggressive. You don't just sit and wait for deals to come to you. If you sit at home and wait for deals to come to you, how long will it be before you get a deal? Right? It's going to be a long time. It's a rhetorical question. It's going to be a long time. You're going to get, like we talk about the lucky deals, the cousin and your mom's going to buy a house and, that kind of stuff. But you've got to actually get out there and you've got to do the things that we talk about being aggressive. Timid salespeople have skinny kids. Remember that when you're out there, okay? You can't feed yourself, you can't feed your kids and all that stuff. So let's get out there and be a little bit more aggressive. This market, like I told you in this email, and pardon me for a second, I'm going to look it up. Like I told you in this email, interest rates are at all-time lows. COVID cases are going up, on the other hand. There's an election less than a week. In the middle of all this, September last month was the highest month in years. It was up 20% from last year, September. Does that make any sense to you guys at all? Not really, right? Do you guys still know people who aren't showing their houses, don't want to put their house on the market yet? Do you guys know anybody who doesn't want to do that because of COVID? Do you know anybody who doesn't want to do that because the election is next week? I should be getting some nods there because I'm hearing a lot of that too. There's a lot of people, and does it matter what you and I know that the election doesn't really matter? But does that matter? Is it perception or reality that matters? Perception, right? Perception matters. Reality doesn't matter, but perception matters. So when we're talking about this, the mindset of the seller or the buyer. So why do you guys think last month was so great? And I'll follow that up by saying we're on the same trajectory this month. We're high this month too. Why do you guys think that is the case?
Oh, it's straight economics, Brian.
I'm sorry, Al.
Can you hear me?
Al, I got a bad connection.
Oh, we do? I'll fix it. Go ahead.
Okay, you sound a little better now.
Oh, okay. It's basic economics. Low inventory, low mortgage rates, people wanting to move to Florida. We still have 1,300 or so people coming in a day. And so it's basic economics, supply and you can talk about the elections, you can talk about COVID. Listing property could be an issue that you have to work your way through with customers. But I still think that the real estate market is booming despite it all.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And that is what this is about. So that's a great point. I think there's been a little bit of pent up demand over the summer and stuff too, but that is what this is about. People are still coming here. It is basic economics, but we get in the mindset of, oh man, I just wish this COVID would go away. I just wish my kids would get back in school. I just wish things would get back to normal, which we all do, right? But that doesn't mean we sit here
Right.
paralyzed. And that's what you guys have got to do. You guys have got to get out there and get going like there is nothing. First of all, the election excuse goes away next week. And like Al was saying, there's always going to be objections when you sell, right? It's always going to be objections. There's going to be another realtor that they know is their brother-in-law. There's going to be some other reason they don't want to work with you. And you've got to go past those objections. They've got to be there. There's going to be something, but the demand is still there. People who still have their jobs are still buying like crazy, right? They're still looking. You can't have even a $350,000 listing right now that you don't get multiple offers on, right? If you price it anywhere near reasonably. So let's focus on what we can do and thrive and not just survive. What are you guys doing? You guys are doing great. You guys are doing fantastic on the whole. What are you guys doing that's working for you right now? Anybody? I see some of your names on closings all the time, and let me know what's working for you.
I keep contacting my prior buyers and sellers and asking them how they're doing. And one thing leads to another, it leads to another. And it goes into the conversation of real estate, of course.
If I didn't know better, Daryl, I would say that sounds like activity is leading to success. Would you say that's, guys, get out there and touch base with the people you know. Use any excuse to get out there and talk to people, right? To talk to your former clients, to they're always going to be your current people, right? Get out there and talk to them. It's going to breed success. How are you guys doing? Just want to make sure you guys are doing okay through this whole pandemic, right? Because you care about them. Okay? Just check in on them. They're going to come up to you. If you have a conversation with them and they don't, then bring it up. Just make sure you guys are doing okay. If you have any friends or family that need any help, just let me know. But they're going to bring it up. Daryl, I can't believe you called today. We were just talking last week to my friend Betsy, and she was talking about getting a house, right? So that's the kind of thing. Activity breeds success. Jomar just put on here, social media is working for him. So people are spending, I just read an article because my sister-in-law wrote it, and she lives in Dubai, but she wrote it about what she does, which is some kind of artificial intelligence. And it's a lot like some stuff that Google does with their AdWords, but their predictive analytics and all that kind of stuff. 90% of it went over my head. But what it didn't go over my head was talking about how she was listing some different countries where in Saudi Arabia, people are spending 97% more time online. In the UAE, they're spending 79% more time online. People are spending so much more time online than they used to because they're sitting at home, right? They're working from home. And Jomar says they spend more time on social media when they work too. Yes, Carissa's noticed that. So there are things that we need you're absolutely right. So people are spending more time online. They're going deeper into their Twitter and their Facebook and their Instagram and all this kind of stuff than they normally would go, right? So that there's social media is working really well. If you guys are not familiar with what you should be doing on social media, talk to Abby. Abby will be glad to help you. There's all kinds of things that are out there. There's new stuff all the time, especially with Facebook marketing. So you guys need to get a tune-up. Go see Abby, get a tune-up on it. Okay. You guys all know how to reach her, right? Mm-hmm. She's going to put her email in chat right now, I bet. Okay. So there's that. What else are we doing to stay? That's great, Daryl. Yes. Talking to your former clients, where do you go when you need to make a deal? Where would you go if you're hungry and you need a deal? Because a lot of you guys are. Where do you go? What do you do? What's your go-to? Anybody? I don't care if you're not doing it yet. You just thought of something right now, some of you. What is it that you're thinking about doing? What should you be doing if you're not?
Well, I thought what I wanted to do for Christmas this year, I have to, I'm going to work on a budget, and I like to deliver cookies in my neighborhood. This might sound silly, but I've seen those, like butter cookies sold that they sell at Walgreens, like the miniature boxes. So I thought of buying like 100 of those boxes because they're very cheap, and just putting my business card and just knocking on doors, wishing people Merry Christmas and giving them a cookie box.
How much do they cost, Malvis?
It's about $1.99
Okay, so you're gonna spend about 200
plus
bucks.
tax. Uh-huh.
You can spend about 213 bucks. Okay, so you're gonna go do that. You're gonna drop all those. Do you think? What are the chances that could lead to some conversations that could lead to a deal?
I don't know, but I'm willing to try.
Good. That's fantastic, guys. That's the kind of activity that leads to success. If you get just one deal out of that, and I'll go back to this because I always do. You guys have heard me say this a million times. You get a transaction with somebody and you make, I don't know, 7,000 bucks. Okay, just a basic transaction with somebody. That if you remain their realtor for years and years and years, because you do good follow up and you follow up with the gifts and you follow up with conversations and the phone calls and the I care about you, put them on a drip campaign, that kind of stuff. They're going to do more and more deals with you as time goes on. They're going to move every 5 to 7 years. They've got friends, they've got family, the kind of people that Daryl is talking to them about. They've got all of that stuff, guys. That's going to lead to, I mean, $50,000, $100,000. This is how you make a career in this. You get a book of business and you make a career in this. There are some of you out there who are doing very well and not buying any leads at all, not just working on your referral base. Some of you, there's some of our best agents are doing that and doing very well because they've been in the business a while and they like to be their realtor and they continue to be their realtor as time goes on. And they'll get a phone call out of the blue. Hey, so-and-so told me about you, Tammy. I can't wait to meet you. If she says you did a good job, then I'd love to meet with you and see what you can do for me. Right? So that's the kind of thing that happens. I love that, Malvis. Yes, that's activity. It's reasonably inexpensive to touch 100 people for $213. There's not a whole lot of advertising you can do like that. It shows an effort of you going around and placing these boxes and ringing their doorbell and telling them Merry Christmas or whatever. That's wonderful. That's a reason to touch people. Use the holidays as a reason to touch people. Use this pandemic. Turn lemons into lemonade. Use this pandemic as a way to touch people, right? People that you know, and they should like you and you like them, and they need to know that. So you guys ever wonder what's happened to your previous clients through COVID? Have you guys had elderly clients or people with health issues? If you haven't wondered how they're doing, you should. Okay, so think about that stuff. Jomar just put care packages to frontline workers. Absolutely. Go talk to some frontline workers and take them care packages. Take them by the police station. Take them by wherever you want, the nurses station, whatever you want to do at the hospital, whatever it is you want to do. Reach out to those people. Okay, and those people, not to sound insensitive, first of all, they need your support, and it's great to have that. But they also have good jobs and they can buy houses. Okay, they've been working the whole time. Okay, and those are the kind of people that are buying houses. And a lot of the people who have been laid off, there's some who had great jobs, but a lot of them have been hospitality people and stuff like that. And they're not typically house buyers anyway, as much as they are renters, right? So, restaurants are shut down and some hospitality stuff, but some, I don't mean to generalize, some do own homes, but most of them are probably renters, right? The rest of the people who were frontline workers and stuff like that, police, fire, healthcare, all that stuff, they've all been working this whole time. And those are the people that are out buying houses, if you guys haven't noticed that, right? Essential workers can still buy because they've been working this whole time. Any other, let's hear some more ideas and stuff like that. Anything you should be doing. And you guys should be writing this stuff down, the stuff that Daryl just talked about. The thing about that Malvis was just talking about, just little stuff to drop off. I know Vivian does a lot of little trinkets and stuff she drops off. Guys, they're going to eat those cookies. They're going to think about you when they do.
Malvis, let me get your costs half of what you thought. From the dollar store, the cookies that you like.
From the dollar store? Okay.
Yeah, I buy them. I like it myself.
Yeah.
I just got your costs down What,
It's
50%?
$100.
Yeah.
Cut it in half,
Yeah.
baby. Cut it in half.
There you go.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thank
And
you.
guys, you guys, unless you live in Malvis's neighborhood, steal these ideas. Use them in your neighborhood. All right. Poor Malvis, somebody probably lives in your neighborhood. You're gonna go.
It's okay.
But write these down. Write down what Daryl's doing, and talk to all of your old clients. Talk to them about how they're doing in the pandemic. Talk to them about what Malvis is doing, and reach out to them in the holidays, whatever holiday they celebrate. Reach out to them and see what they're up to. But you know, with the pandemic stuff, especially if you know they had health issues and stuff like that, or if they were elderly, whatever it is that they might be in a risk zone, check on them. But even if they're not, check on them, because even if they're not, they have relatives who are, right? So check on them, see how they're doing. What else are you guys doing or should be doing? What have you been thinking about doing? Yes, Tammy.
I just started this week. So one of the girls, I don't remember who it was, who had all her cards orderly and she was going to make so many calls a day. And I was like, that's such a great idea. So I started taking each client and doing, and there might be an easy way of doing this, but I looked at the house that they bought and did like an active sold, pending and sold, and printed it out. Then wrote a note card to them and then put that. Actually, I think I'm going to get some calendars, or I'm not sure. But anyway, I took my business card, put a magnet on it, stuck it in the card with a note card with their comps. I think I might run the monthly thing that the MLS shows with the statistics. And then I'm mailing it to them. But then next week, I'm going to call them to see if they got my information in the mail. Because I, for some reason, have a hard time just calling my past clients, go, hey, how are you? I don't know why. I just do. And so I feel like this kind of gives me a reason to call them and, you know, then check in with them. I don't know why. I feel like just to call these past clients is a weird thing. Okay.
Well, that brings up a great subject, Tammy. So because you feel salesy or you feel like it's hard to schmooze with them. But which is the only silver lining of the pandemic is that is a good reason to call them and check on them. Right. And if you don't feel comfortable at the end, ask them for referrals and stuff, then don't. But I want to talk about two different things. One is we talked about some of you guys have heard me talk about this before, about sales styles, about the kind of stuff that Tammy can get away with that I couldn't, right? Tammy can get away with being their fluffy best friend and, oh my God, your hair, what have you done with it? You know, you look so great. You know, look at that little dog, he's so cute. I can't get away with the same kind of stuff that Tammy can, right? It'll come off as fake and weird. Okay. But there's two different kinds. There's logical sales and there's emotional sales, and emotional is better, easier, right? People are motivated out of different things. Fear of loss, like they're going to lose out on a good deal. That's what the whole urgency thing is, right? Hope of gain, which is similar to that, but it's a little bit different. Like they're going to get ahead by doing something, right? Like an investment property, stuff like that. But when you send out the just listed, just sold kind of stuff, you're more hitting the logic side of them. They're going to think about money, right? They're going to think, Tammy's just sold this. She sold it for how much? Should I buy now? Should I sell now? What's financially the smart thing to do, right? And people get kind of nervous about all that kind of stuff. And then you hit them with the, like Jomar is putting in the chat, he's talking about sending them Thanksgiving cards and Halloween stuff and, you know, boo, you know, just to stay in their consciousness, which is great, right? And that's more of a just touching base with you, just checking on you through the COVID, you know, that kind of thing, more of an emotional type thing, because they want to work with people they like, but they also want people who are looking out for their bottom dollar, right? So hit them with both, okay? And that's something you can do that I could get away with better. So anybody can get away with checking on them through the pandemic. That's what I like about that. You know, of course, you're going to check on your clients. But I like that for just about anybody when it's by mail or something like that, okay? Or by phone, whatever. So yes, so when you talk about that, you're hitting them from two different angles, and I like that. And try to do that with everybody you can. Hit them from both, unless you already know.
I'm personalizing a little note card to them, you know, like, how's your daughter? And the comps that I'm sending them is just around the house they purchased. So I'm taking the time to show them what it looks like around the house that they've purchased, like the appreciation and, what's on the market as well.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. You're hitting them with logic stuff. You're hitting them with what, money. And you want to hit them with the other stuff that you hit them with the emotional stuff as well. Sales is a transference of emotion. If you get people, they actually act. Have you guys seen the funnel of interest and all that kind of stuff and how it gets down to action? And the action is what makes them actually act, is the emotional part of it. Getting their kids into good schools, getting them whatever it is that makes them want to move, being closer to mom, being closer to the grandkids, whatever it is, that's what makes them do it. If you guys have grandkids or even kids, people can get you emotional about those pretty easily, right? About being close to them. And if your grandkids are in Michigan and people start talking about them, people can talk you into almost wanting to move to Michigan, right? Or getting them to move down here. People can get you very emotional. There are, as we talk about, and I'm not going to go into, obviously not going to go into the actual candidates of the election, but there are, when you do an election campaign, you focus on people who vote out of emotion. That guy's a jerk, I'll never vote for him. That guy's a little weird, creepy, I'll never vote for him. And you've got people who vote out of policy, right? You've got people who are just going to vote the way they're going to vote because their beliefs align with mine, and I don't care if that guy's a jerk or if that guy's weird or what, right? So that is the same thing for sales. You want them to like you, and you want them to know that they're going to get the best deal with you. Okay? Does everybody understand that? So hit them with both. So that's what I like about that style, Tammy. So Tammy is obviously everybody loves Tammy. She's a lovely lady. She's very caring and everything else, but she's also hitting them with facts, details. We listed this, we sold this in 12 days. Don't you want to be like the Johnson family who sold their house in 12 days for over market? Of course you do, right? So you got to hit them with that too. All right. Because that is, even though that's logic, it's also the emotion. It's the fear of loss. How did the Johnsons do that? And I can't, right? Why can't I be like the Johnsons? It's emotion. Why can't I? The Johnsons did great. I'm going to miss out on doing great if I don't work with Tammy. Okay. Anything else you guys are doing? I love that, Tammy. That's great.
Thank you.
And we've talked about this before. You guys, you don't have to be the one who listed it and sold it. We did it. Right? So just make sure it's factual that Florida Realty Investments did it. We're a brokerage. We're all a team. We did it. Okay. So we sold a house just like this right down the street. Okay. Who else? Who else is thinking of doing something? You had some ideas, or you've learned something today, or that you're going to do, or something you're already doing. Guys, this is the time to be getting ahead. That's the whole thrive, not just survive. Now is the time to be out there doing it. People are doing business. All of your excuses are gone. I'll show you September's numbers. We showed them, I think, last week or the week before. We talked about September's numbers. October's numbers will be out a week from now. And we'll look at October, and I guarantee you they're going to be close to September's, but definitely up from October of last year. Now's the time. Normally September, October, not too good, but this year, fantastic.
What's your opinion on calendars, those magnetic calendars?
15 years ago, I loved them. Now everybody's calendar's on their phone. But I think people still do them. But the problem is, I'm looking at inside of my refrigerator. I've got my kid's artwork he's 14. It's from when he was, drawing turkeys around his hand. And so I don't know. I've got Orlando Magic stuff on there. I've got all kinds of stuff on there that I don't care about. So I don't know. What do you guys find with calendars? I wouldn't use it personally, but that's.
I don't either.
I don't use a calendar. I use my phone. I put everything on my calendar on my phone because I can set up alarms and reminders.
I know there's a guy that does like Cape Orlando out west, and every year he goes team and they do the calendar, and he does get quite a bit of business from that. But he does it consistently, and he's done it year after year for I think a while.
I don't know, Tammy. Victoria says she can help you. She's got a whole box of unused calendars you can give out.
Me too, actually. Because
Right.
Gail does
So-
it. Yeah.
So, and yeah, I get a lot of comment. Chat's very active today. We got some shy people don't want to put their beautiful faces on here, but yeah, Jomar
I would try.
doesn't think it'd be used.
I would probably do like football schedules and not really recipes, but I would do football schedules or something like that. I don't know. Are they having football games yet? Let me think about that for a minute after I said it.
Daryl, we'll talk after, Daryl.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are. So schedules and stuff like that is great. Some people do discount cards, stuff like that as well. And that might be of interest to some people. But that takes a little bit of work, get out there and cut deals with people to give discounts. And of course, the reason that restaurants cooperate in this stuff is because it's great for them to give a free drink with a meal. That drink costs them 10 cents and somebody comes in and buys a $10 meal and they give them a 10-cent drink. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. But for someone going out to eat, I'd rather spend $10 than 12, right? So I'll take the free drink coupon.
So you know how this month is burger week or something, like $5 burgers at different nice high-end restaurants like Teak and Delaney's Tavern and stuff. So I was thinking, what if I went in and I struck a deal with those places and bought people a free burger? For the people, not just anyone, for my door hanger people, but for my past customers. That gets them in the door, and then they're still buying their drinks and tipping. But for two people, $10 is kind of a bargain because that's what I'd spend on a bottle of wine anyway.
There you go.
So just like buy them at different restaurants that are close to their present locations. That was my idea. I don't think I'll get a break on it from the restaurants because they're already putting out a $5 burger.
Well, they may give you some buy one, get one free type stuff or something. I mean, you can work out deals with restaurants.
Right. So here's my new door hanger thing, because I did order my hot and cold gel packs before JB and I formed our team. So they're branded to me, but that's okay because, we're using them anyway. I'm doing a personalized note and leaving it in with the door hanger and the tchotchkes, as I like to call them, that says, I love your curve appeal. Your neighbors are probably loving driving by this beautiful, house in your garden or whatever. Because sometimes people just need a little uplifting message that doesn't ask for business. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
To just
Good.
say something nice to them, as opposed to asking them for their business.
Okay. Good. What else do you guys have? Anything else?
Ryan,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is Marina. Sorry, I'm driving, but I wanted to share. I was just thinking about, your HOA community. Instead of door knocking due to the COVID social distancing, you could have like a limited amount of people, invite them to the clubhouse and educate them what's going on in the market. Like do a nice presentation, and this is a nice way of introducing yourself to your neighbors, and then just giving a little trick for just thanking them for taking the time out to listen to you, and just kind of build a rapport there that way.
Okay, so what Marina's doing is offering them something of value for their time and getting people there voluntarily to come and see you and talk to you about real estate. Is that a good idea? Absolutely. So work that out in your neighborhoods. You guys can use one of our offices if you want. You guys can do whatever you want, but do that. Do the first time home buyers thing as well. Do any kind of real estate educational stuff. That is great. That's exactly the kind of stuff you guys should be doing in this environment. Although you do need to make sure about your COVID restrictions and stuff like that. But that's kind of thing. Those are wonderful.
And I would add to invite a vendor, a property inspector, just to ask questions, and an appraiser and a lender. Invite somebody, so then you have these questions answered right then and there to these people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a first-time home buyer. It could be a person who's looking to resell. They've got equity in these homes now. teach them, let them know, hey, it's a great time, you know, and you can turn around and sell your house and buy another house with a low interest rate, better than what you're in right now. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. So
Go into a high-end apartment complex and do that, and offer to use their room and advertise.
Yep.
There you go. And you guys know what people are being told right now. People are being told, if they're doing any research at all the articles are telling them to refinance. That's what they're telling them to do. Other people are being, if you look into it also, they're telling people in high-end markets, they're telling them to sell and then rent for a while because they think the market's going to come down. Some people do. So there's a lot of stuff going on out there, a lot of information, misinformation, whatever it is. And that's great. And I definitely recommend having a lender there, having people there who can answer questions, more so a lender than anybody, than an inspector or anything, but have a lender there to do that. Between you and the lender, you guys can answer all the questions. Okay. So absolutely love that idea. Now we got to turn these ideas into action.
That was a great leeway for something that I wanted to bring up. I just had an appointment actually yesterday, and I got this appointment from a seller that has a $400,000 condo downtown. And I got the lead actually from the maintenance guy that works at the condo. I keep up with this maintenance guy every couple of months. I say hi to him. When he sends me potential sellers, I give him a $25 Starbucks card. And I've just kept up with him. I also visit HOA property managers downtown, but of course it doesn't have to be downtown. Everybody's got HOAs all over town. Go in and say hi. Don't make it just a one-time thing though. You have to do it, every couple months to where they start to recognize you. And I've gotten lots of leads from property managers, maintenance people, HOA people, whoever, the work at the condos, at the communities, whatever. As long as they get to know your name and they like you and they trust you, you get their leads because they know people talk in all the communities and all the HOAs about possibly selling. So that's turned out to be a really good lead generation for me.
Wow. So why does that guy know to send you people, Daryl?
Because I've sold that particular guy. I just sold a unit that he referred me to the seller a couple months ago. He likes me. We get along great. He likes his little Starbucks cards. And actually, when I sold the unit that he sent me, 6 months ago or so, that was another $400,000 unit. I sold it directly from his lead. I know that he likes Carnival Cruise Lines, so I got him a nice gift card from Carnival. And he appreciates that.
So Daryl, how did he know that you were in the business before he sent you the first one?
How did he know? Just 3 years. It's been so many years that I've known him. He was the maintenance guy he's been the maintenance guy at this complex for years. And I just got to know him through the years.
At some point.
Actually, one of the condos that I sold had repairs that I had to contact. He's the lead maintenance guy. So I had to contact him to have the repairs done. And I was so nice to him and we got along so good. We have a good working relationship. He never gave me any lip on anything that I was asking to do because I was nice to him. And he remembered that.
Do you think everybody's nice to him, Daryl?
I don't know. In this world, probably not.
Right. And so at some point, he knew what you did. You were nice to him. You developed a relationship. I just added, what I just added? Because we had this, I've got my notes here from the one to stand out from the crowd training we did. And I talked about in that creating relationships with divorce attorneys, probate attorneys, accountants, lenders, new home salespeople. I just added on there because you said this. I started to put more specific stuff, but I just said everybody. Tell everybody what you're doing. Everybody. So what if they don't care? So what if they're not impressed or they don't ever send you business? Most people aren't ever going to send you business. There's 7.7 billion people in the world. Most of them aren't going to send you business. Okay. So talk to everybody you can though. Be nice to people, the little people, like maintenance guys, the kind of people that people ignore and treat like crap, right? The server at your restaurant, everybody. Get to know them, talk to them. Those are the people that that know everybody, right? So talk to those people. Let them know what you do. Guys, I can't tell you enough. Wear your shirts. Wear your name tags. Wear that kind of stuff. Okay?
Oh, I gotta show you something. Sorry.
All right. So Malvis is going to show us something. But so yeah, just burst out whenever you feel like it, everybody. So so wait, she's back. Go ahead, Malvis.
Look, everybody, can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
I just ordered me a new name tag with bling bling and everything. I found it on.
Bling really gets the attention.
I found
over time does snag your clothes, but I still like them.
I found it on the FRI pipeline. There is a tab for a name tag under House of Magnets. It cost me $30, but because I added the bling bling, but they have it square. They have, I want it girly, and so I'm planning to from now on to wear this wherever I go, grocery shopping, blah blah blah. So I put it. Now that you said that, I'm like, oh, my name tag just arrived this week. So just something silly and stupid, but I'm planning on it.
Yeah, Jomar just commented he has the same one and he wears it all the time, even to Publix. So that's fantastic. Wait, probably not. Go ahead.
I just got mine yesterday, though, wearing it all the time now.
Does that have the bling bling too?
No, mine doesn't have bling bling. It's just plain.
Well, yours is great too, Vanessa. Yours is great too. So yeah, but not only does I like the bling bling one, as Malva says, not only because it looks nice and girly and everything, but also it attracts attention, right? It's bright and shiny and it attracts attention, but all of them look great. That looks great, Vanessa. So guys, don't be a secret agent. I've heard that a million times. Don't be a secret agent. Nobody's going to work with you if they don't know that you're in real estate. And treating people nicely and being kind and polite. And I mean, if you guys are too busy to be kind and polite people, then you shouldn't be on this call right now. You should be handling your business somewhere, right? So get out there and let everybody know what you do. The great Daryl, that's a great story, because I love that, because it shows how just treating people with respect and talking to them and getting to know them and letting them get to know you, you're going to be humanized to them. You know how many real estate people this maintenance guy knows? And he sends them to Daryl, right? He obviously likes Daryl, right? He obviously thinks Daryl cares about his people. And Daryl asking him to do extra stuff for free shows him how much Daryl cares about his clients. He's trying to get him to do extra stuff for his clients because he cares about his clients, right? There's also a lot of psychology in that, asking people for little stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but a lot of times, like FBI interviews and that kind of stuff, they'll ask people for little stuff, little favors. And that turns into big favor. When you are more inclined to do a big favor for someone if you've already been doing them little favors. You guys familiar with any of that? You guys should read a lot of that sales books and psychology books and stuff like that. You get somebody to do little stuff for you. Let me borrow that pencil. Can I borrow $1? Can I do that? And then eventually they don't say no to bigger stuff and bigger stuff and bigger stuff. And it's really funny that way. And it's funny how obligation works. Malva's giving these, well, $1 box of cookies now that Daryl helped her, $1 box of cookies creates obligation for people. You know, we're going to sell our house. Yeah, we know the lady that you work with at the but let's at least contact this lady who gave us the cookies. $1.
Yeah, they can call me the lady with the bling bling.
The lady with the bling bling gave us the cookies. So yeah, that's exactly the thing. That's why salespeople take people out to lunch. Talking about a $5 million contract, they'll take them out to a $15 to $20 lunch, right? And it creates obligation. Those people, they don't say, hey, I want your $5 million contract no matter what, but they say, hey, when that deal comes up, will you give me a shot, right? And that's the kind of thing that happens I used to work in the construction business, and we would do that exact thing. Take them golfing for $50, and then you get a shot at their $5 million contract. And what they would actually do if they like you is, hey, you guys came in at 4.8. We got somebody at 4.6. Can you guys match that? Is that incredible or what? Like, heck yeah, I can, right? We'll talk about it. Let's see what we can. And I bet we can, right? Let me go see what we can do. Talk to my manager and see what we can do, right? And of course we can. So think about that kind of stuff. That is when you know that's selling right there. When you know that someone is going to come back to you to make up the difference. They are choosing to work with you, right? And that is from treating them well, just getting to know them, getting to like them, and then have them like you, asking about their kids, making sure they made it through COVID okay. You know, Daryl, next time you talk to that maintenance guy, you know, how are you and your family doing? You know what I mean? That kind of thing, which I'm sure you already do. But that's the kind of thing that you ask. How are you doing? How's your family? Everybody okay? Awesome. Doesn't that make you feel good when people care about you? Right? So I'm doing okay, everybody. Thank you. So that's what selling is, though, guys. Getting out there, making relationships, and doing that. Are you? Do any of you feel like you're doing enough right now? Tammy does.
No,
Oh, you
I
have a question.
No, I have a question. So if you wanted to find out how many people were actually in your neighborhood, where would you go? I know you can go on public records. You could actually physically count them. But is there a way to get a number, a total number, or no?
Yeah, you don't have to count them, Tammy. Just pull up and whatever total records there are. You might have HOA owned, like retention ponds and roads and stuff. But basically a 55 unit neighborhood will have about 50 homes because some will be HOA setbacks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you in an HOA? Do you have a property manager?
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to go visit him or her today and bring a box of cookies and wear your bling.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Correct.
I was going to go door to door, so I was trying to figure out how many, like what Melvis is saying, for like Christmas and get those planned ahead. And I was just kind of curious. I didn't know really how many houses were in our neighborhood.
Do you go to HOA meetings, Tammy?
You know, I don't, and I own a condo too that I could be going to those meetings as well. I just wrote that down. I don't think many people go, but I probably do need to go.
I was thinking the same thing when Daryl brought up the HOA, because we have a meeting every month and they put the sign right in my city.
HOA meetings?
Yes. So I think I'm going to start doing that.
Sponsor them. Sponsor the HOA meetings and bring little gifts or a box of cookies with your name tag, or not your name tag, your bling, your business card on them. But sponsor them. Sponsor the meetings every month or as many months as you can. Perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I would do a drawing and have them, give prizes like Starbucks or Publix or whatever.
I've been to, we have 100 units exactly in my neighborhood, 100 homes exactly in my neighborhood. And I know that because I went to a meeting one time. I've been here 8 years. I've been to one meeting. It is typically the 4 of the 5 board meeting. Apparently the one I went to, 4 out of the 5 board members were there, and about 4 or 5 other people. Okay. So usually, I believe usually the board members outnumber the actual people unless there's something crazy going on, right? Something big going on. But I just happened to stumble by this because my wife was out walking the dogs and she walked by it and told me it was going on. So I walked up there and it's right down the street. So what kind of people are typically on the HOA board?
The know-it-alls, the people that know everybody, right? Or the people that want to be in people's business.
The gossips, right? The people everybody talks to, and that we're thinking about moving out of here because of blah, 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 right? So they see them. And ours, the lady, it's a husband and wife, and I don't even know which one is I think the husband's the president maybe, but she walks her boxers around. She got 2 giant boxers and they want to kill my dogs. But she walks around every day about 6 o'clock and people complain to her all the way around the neighborhood, right? If they have anything to say, they tell her. I bet she knows everything going on in this neighborhood.
Probably.
That is the play. But she also goes to the meeting, so I think he's the one that's on the board. But that's the kind of people that are involved in this, right? People that know everything. Get to know the board. Okay. Also, they're not bad people usually. They get a bad rap because they make decisions that some people don't like, but get to know them a little bit, you'll probably understand a little more what's going on in your neighborhood too. I like that idea. And I love sponsoring that. Take them some donuts or cookies or whatever, Daryl. I love it.
My philosophy always has been, that's why I wanted to be downtown Daryl. My philosophy was, there's so many condo complexes here. Once I get to know a specific complex, that gives me 300 or 400 people, owners that own in that complex. Why am I taking my money and putting it towards one person at one house when I can take my money and put it towards a whole complex with 400 homes? That's been my philosophy all along.
Good idea.
I like it. Anything else? Anybody doing something or should be doing something and they know they haven't done it? You guys all have your goals? You guys moving toward your goals? Everybody's on path to reach their goals? See a couple of head nods and some thoughtful looks. A lot of black screens. So anybody have any ideas about their goals? Anything that they want to talk about their goals? Anything they want to talk about how they're meeting their goals? Anything they should be doing right now?
Oh, I just was on a webinar and they recommended this book called Profit First. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Actually, it's really pretty good. You focus on your profit and you focus on getting your kind of expenses down. And it's very interesting. The guys I've written other books too about the pumpkin, just different things. But anyway, it was on like the top producers. They had their webinar thing and somebody mentioned that on there. So I got the book on Audible and was listening to it. And I wish I had done it when I was younger, but it's got a good principle where you take your profit, you get in the habit of taking a little bit of profit, you still pay yourself, but you're just, you don't take the leftovers, kind of like expense, production minus expenses equal your profit, because usually that profit's never sitting in your bank account. At the end of the year when you do your taxes, like, oh, you made 17% profit. Well, that 17% is not sitting in your account, but it's a very interesting book. People might want to listen to it. Okay.
Next week, guys, we're going to do, and we're going to keep this discussion open, but next week we're going to do, we're going to have a training on the app. It's going to be from the people who have developed the app. They're going to come in and train you guys at least for 30 minutes or so on how to use the app. So it won't be, you get less of me and more of them, which would be good for you guys. But they're talking about the app, all the things that the app can do, how to use it, etc. So we've got a pretty cool app that we're going to talk about next week. I want to make sure you guys would be here for that. And anything else that you guys want to talk about?
Can I ask a stupid question about social media?
Sure.
Maybe Abby knows this. When you share a photo from your phone, you're not in the computer, from your phone, usually when you type hashtags, blah, 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 from the computer, the color turns blue. And does it matter when you do it from your phone, or does it does the same thing when you post it?
It should do the same thing when you post it. Are you talking about Instagram or are you talking about Facebook?
Instagram, both actually.
Okay. When you post it, you just have to make sure you're separating it. You're spacing each hashtag out, and I don't think it'll turn blue before you publish it to your Instagram account. But once you publish it, it will be a hashtag.
Okay. I took a picture of my new name tag and I'm going to post it there. I'm going to say, how do you like my new name tag?
Nice. Very good.
That's the best $30 you ever spent, Melvin. I can tell.
Which that was a great leadway for me again. Social media. Instagram. Huge news just came out the other day for Instagram videos. They went from 1 minute to 4 minutes. They're trying to steal business away from YouTube on videos. So now you can post a video on Instagram. It used to be only a 1 minute. Now you can go up to 4 minutes. That's huge.
That's great for virtual house tours, stuff like that, isn't it?
Right.
Awesome. Although I kind of like the 1 minute one, because then you could use it as an excuse not to have 4-minute video, but you know, you just say a little bit about it and you don't have to be on for 4 minutes, but that's good. Awesome.
The trick is to do a 30-second teaser video that leads into the 4-minute video. That's
Okay.
a little trick of the trade.
Nice. Nice. All right, guys. Well, if you guys have any more questions about anything.
I do. One more.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. So, my guy that didn't want to pay that title company fee, you know, and I'm paying some of it. He's in California, won't be able to move here. And he asked if I knew somebody that would check on the house weekly for him. And he said, could you even do that? And then he also wants his hot water heater replaced, which I really don't want to get involved in that. So would Carissa's, the property management, do something like that? Or if you were going to check on somebody's house weekly just to flush their toilets and make sure the water is okay, what would you charge him to do that?
You know, that's an interesting question. I don't think that's a real estate activity.
Okay.
And I think you could charge him whatever he's willing to pay. What was the other thing he wanted you to do? Have the hot water?
Well, he wants the hot water heater replaced as soon as he closes. I don't really want the employee.
I would give him some, I would Google some stuff and send it to him. You know, here's some people around town, you know, that kind of thing. Maybe
So
set him up with
the
somebody.
property management company wouldn't take something like that on.
Oh, they would, but I mean,
He's
I
probably
don't
going
know.
to be cheap to pay for it, actually. I thought about a dog walker. You know how dog walkers like walk dogs and they could just swing in and check his house out and, you know, not for the hot water heater, but for the checking on the house.
Yeah.
I have someone who has a dog walking service, Lake Nona Dog Walkers, owns a retail store in right outside Narcoossee. I mean, he's your go-to if it's geographically good for him. You know what I mean? Like,
What's his name? Is it what's his name?
Will Cavazos, Lake Nona
Yeah,
Dog.
I think I know Will, but this guy's in Baldwin Park.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of business he does, but that's a great idea because they're very trusted people. They let, you know, him into their homes.
Right.
Pets are their children. You know, they let me watch their personal dogs when they were on vacation. So I felt really like, wow, honored, you know?
Yeah.
I have a question before we go.
Tammy, I want to give you, this is AJ. Ryan, I do commercial real estate, but I ran across a situation where one of my family members who were in Canada bought a house in Lake Nona area. And there was a guy that was doing this for approximately $120 a month. He would go weekly and do all the, you know, check, make sure everything is good, and you know, flush all the toilets. It was a big house. I think it was like a 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath house. So it was quite a bit of work, but he was, they were paying $120 a month to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Victoria, you were going to say something.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Sorry,
Hi.
my screen was off. So I am planning on doing an open house this Saturday and Sunday, and it's a gated community. So I'm worried that buyers are not easily able to get into the community. And I've contacted the HOA, and I don't think they feel comfortable in keeping the gate open for those time frames. So I was wondering, what is your past experience in having buyers come in? Do you leave a note saying call me once you get there? Or I don't know if they want me to give their codes out to everybody. So what do you do?
I've had that situation in some downtown condos, and what I used to do when I did that, I don't know if it's going to work in your case, I used to put a tent on the outside of the drive that had my telephone number on it. And I would actually, it was a condo, so actually I was up in the unit, I would come down, open the door for them and let them in. I don't know if it's going to be feasible for you because you would, I don't know. I'm not sure if you open the gate with the owner's telephone, or I'm not exactly sure how the gate would work. That's how I've done it.
It's a gate code.
I have an idea.
Normally, can't they give you a temporary gate code pass?
That's what I suggest. Yeah.
Or I don't know if there's a phone that they can call and then you buzz them in.
Okay.
Well, you can also go and tell the security guy that you're gonna have an open house for a certain time, and they can build a temporary code for you. And anybody that's gonna pass through the gate, they just have to tell them that code. And they might let them in into your side without that much problem. That's what I done in my house.
It's not guard. It's not a guard gated, but it is just code gated.
I see.
Thank you guys. I will find out.
Yeah, Carmel by the lake, they let me input my phone number in at the gate for people to call, to buzz me directly. So that helped a lot. Made a big difference. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, after this, I'm going to go hand out some flyers to the local businesses. So, wish me luck.
Cool. Awesome.
Also, Ryan, what do you think about posting a business card in one of those local small newspaper on those small supermarkets? What do you think about doing
Like little
marketing that
nickel
way?
savers and stuff like that? What do you, well, we have, okay. So we have some people who do that, but they're more in rural areas where people really use those things. Do you think people, I don't know. Do you know anybody who's done it and seen good results? How much is it? That kind of thing.
Well, that's what I need to find out a bit, but.
Well, yeah, so I like it in general because they're usually very, very cheap. And again, guys, you just got to do some kind of cost analysis to look, if I did this for 5 years, if it's $25 a month and I did it for 5 years, or I did it for, how long would it take before 1 year? Would it take 6 months before I get a deal out of it? What is it? How long till I get a deal of it? Or just or a lot of times there's some, if you're doing it in a strategized way, there's value to branding yourself,
right?
And getting it out there to when people do meet with you, say, oh, I know you. I know your name. I know your logo. Yeah, I've seen this before. You're legitimate, right? People want to know you're legitimate, and you didn't just get your license yesterday. And I don't care if you did get it 6 months ago. If they've seen your name everywhere in the last 6 months, they're going to think you're, a going concern, a big deal, right? So there is some value to branding. So I think it's really cheap, Maria. I'm not 100% sure, but if it is, absolutely use it.
Yeah. One more question.
I'd love to know, by the way, guys, if you're doing stuff like this, I'd love to know about it. I'd like to know what you're spending and what your results have been and stuff like that, because I get a lot of these questions. Go ahead, Maria. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What about the phone calls? We need to make sure that the number we call, those that we do not know or has been soliciting our business, we need to make sure we do not call those do not call phone numbers. What do you suggest?
I suggest you don't call the do not call list. You can't.
No, but the question is, if I have a big number, like I have thousands of numbers accumulated from years ago, and if I pull a phone number that I don't know, and I called, and that person happened to be on that list, so do I have to go through a website and check those numbers before I call them?
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
I'll find out. I've had this conversation with somebody recently. I'll have to go back and find the email and send it to you. We came to a conclusion, but I'll find that and let you know. Okay.
Okay. Appreciate that.
I have a story for you. I have a story.
Okay.
Brian, last week when you talked about pulling title when you take a listing.
Yes.
And I feel like I always get great clients. So I took this. I have had this listing for a few months, and it's an estate, and the people built a house, and it's paid for cash, and so plus I haven't done the title thing like we talked about. But anyway, I thought, I'm safe. So we had one offer and it fell through, and then we got another offer, and they did the title search. And what happened in the title search is when the lady put her property in her trust, the attorney typed the neighbor's property legal description on the deed. And so there was a title problem. And then the attorney at the title company said, well, that's going to have to go through probate. But actually, the attorney that did this deed can correct it with a Sevenson's or something form. And then they just retype the deed, and it's going to get recorded.
Pre-recorded. Yeah.
And then we're going to be okay. But I was like, oh my gosh, I will now every listing have them do a title search, but before you even go under contract, because luckily I'm with an agent that would have probably been fine. And would have been patient to work it out, but it was like, oh my gosh, you just don't even know whatever's going to come up in a deal.
You never know. And it's too important. I don't know how much that house is worth or how much your commission was, but it's too important to just take it to chance, right? I mean, every little $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 counts to you guys, right? Am I mistaken? Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Maria. Great job.
Oh no,
Tammy.
I was to say that who would pay for that title search before the property is sold?
Well, they told me that they would do a title search. The title company that I work with a lot, she said you can do it, and she definitely recommended it on trust and estate stuff to do it initially. But it's $85, and they would collect it from the seller if it closed. If not, the seller has to pay $85. If the deal doesn't close, they'll be billed for $85. And even if I had to pay the $85, it's almost worth it, just for the peace of mind, if it didn't close. But I don't have deals that usually don't close, so I would not worry about it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
You use the title company, the same one all the time? Mine does it for free on all my listings.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Because that's what we talked.
I'm sorry, I've used the same title company for 15 years. So yeah, we have a good relationship, and they've always done it for free. And actually, they offer it to everyone. Not you don't have to be with them in business for 15 years. They offer it on every meeting I go to.
Yep, and because they want your business, guys. There are people. You learn how to use your leverage with certain people. There are lenders, title companies. Everybody wants your business. They know that you direct the client toward a lot of these things. So you can't always direct them toward lenders, but a lot of times you can. You can definitely direct them 95% of the time to a title company, right? You're going to be doing a lot of that. So title companies will kiss your butt because they want you to bring them business. And that's why they do all this stuff for free, and they sponsor everything, and they do all this stuff. They want your business. They'll do it for free. I know Tycon will do it for you for free. They'll do a net sheet, pull the title. They'll do everything for you for free. So because they know they're going to get paid eventually.
But the title search is by the title insurance company, right? That's going to be giving you the title insurance, correct?
Yeah, they're going to pull that, but there's lien searches and other stuff you have to do as well.
Yes, but that's where it got discovered, was when the title insurance policy, or whatever it's called, is where it came up at.
Yeah,
so
the nice person you deal with you email the contract to and all that kind of stuff to get the deal started, that's not who does title insurance.
Correct.
It's the company that backs them, an underwriter who does all that stuff to make sure they can do it. Because so if you send it to Bill at ABC Title, Bill's not going to pull all the title. He's going to send it off.
Right.
He'll do your net sheet, but he's not going to pull the title.
Right.
All right. But that's the kind of stuff, guys. If it's $85 and the deal ends up falling through, and you never sell the house, you eat the $85, or you put it in their cancellation fee. That's part of your expenses that you did. You guys know in the listing agreement, you're due back your expenses, right? If you ever want to chase that, if the seller's a jerk for whatever reason, then you're due back your expenses. Okay. Great stuff though. Good. That's a great story, Tammy and Daryl. You're absolutely right. They do that.
Also, one thing, just before we go, I almost lost a really good deal yesterday, and I wound up saving it. I checked the parking space of the condo that I was selling. I did not verify the monthly HOA, which I usually always do. I didn't do it this time. It was off $120 because the seller didn't know what she was paying. She's been paying an auto payment for the past 16 years. So I took the fee for granted that she told me. It was incorrect by $120 off a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of not checking on it.
Exactly. It taught me a very valuable lesson. I looked at it and I said, I couldn't have done that. I did it. I didn't check with I called the HOA right at closing, and I said, hey, what's the correct monthly HOA on this unit? They verified. I said, you gotta be kidding me. So it came that close to losing a deal, but I got it to go through.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's part of
One
your,
more
that's part of your
question,
due diligence. Go ahead, Maria.
I do have two deals from a long time ago, talking about 15 years ago almost. One of them, the title company kept $1,000 from this seller, never wanted to give it back, and I stopped, I let the seller to take care of it. I don't think he ever got it. And the other one was a deal that I was to purchase a home right there on the Medical City now, about 2005. And the company kept $5,000 that I gave them as a deposit because they were trying me to get into that house and the payment was too high. And they had their own mortgage broker doing the loan. And I told them, this is too much. I cannot afford it. And as a matter of fact, I got a letter from Wells Fargo at that time was another name, First Union, and they gave me a letter and I showed it to them and I sent it to them. And they always kept on giving me the around and around, never, it was a site. When I went, the person was never there. When I called, nobody ever answered, or they took a message and said, well, I'm gonna let someone blah, blah, call you, but it took years within that thing. And not too long ago, I had to go to New York. Now I'm talking about 2011. And I'm talking about 5 years dealing with that, but I didn't have that much experience about the real estate. And I forgot about the complaining about that problem. The thing is that I still have those papers in my house. And I said, oh my gosh, is there a chance to get some of that money back? It was from KB Home. I don't know. What can you tell me about that? There were $5,000.
I would tell you to talk to an attorney about that. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. But you talk to Nishad about it. Talk to an attorney about it.
Yeah. Did you have any good one? Maybe one in downtown.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly who I would send you to. But I will put it in the chat right now.
I'll do that. Thank you.
In the chat, Fernando has put a flyer that he sends out to Spanish supermarkets. Maybe you guys could take a look at that and adapt it somehow.
That's good.
In the chat, he's got it's a little download. So take a look at that. It's a poster. Sorry, he puts it out in a poster. It's a poster. Thanks, Fernando. So take a look at that. And I am going to, does anybody have anything else to add? Any other questions? Nope. Okay.
Well, I'm so sorry, Ryan. Sometimes I miss your meetings because I have so much other things to do, which are not productive. But anyways, I do always have, I had this question about the first page that we have to give to buyers, because I have had 3 or 4 buyers this year. And none of them did anything, and I wasted my time. But so they went with another person, blah, blah, blah. So because I was kind of lazy to do that stuff. So and I just want to make sure. Yeah,
the buyer brokerage agreement?
So that they feel responsible with me. And sometimes I feel like charging these people $500 or something, or telling them something, because it's ridiculous.
Okay. There is, if you go onto our YouTube page, which we sent out recently, but Abby will send you a link if you'd like. We have a recording there and it says buyer brokerage. It was done in, like, I think September 9th. I don't have it here in front of me now, but it was done on September 9th, I believe, around there sometimes. Buyer brokerage agreement training. It's recorded. I'm sure I'll be doing one before too long in the future, the next 3 or 4 months, and we'll do that. Okay, but look at that buyer brokerage training on there. I go through it line by line and talk about how to sell it, how to get them to sign on, etc. Sounds like you've had several bad experiences, so you may want to start using it. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. After that.
Awesome. All right, guys, and we'll be recording this one on there too, so you can go back and see yourselves again. And Daryl's got a new background. I like it. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you soon. Let me know if you need anything. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Pat's got on her fancy name tag. I can see it from here. There's Pat. Thanks, Pat. All right. I'll see you guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.